Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Can you hear? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hope you can hear clearly. We shall begin within several minutes. So just wait a few moments. Okay. So we'll begin in 1 minute. Yeah, today we are going to talk about the tool, something related to the villa design and the garden. So, actually, today, if you are now doing some cases related to those kind of a design scenario, for example, the villa design or the garden design, yeah, this will be probably a kind of a helpful class for you. Yeah, just wait for 1 minute and we will get started. Okay. So, hello everyone, welcome to the class again. So, this is Jackie. And today we are going to talk about outdoor designs, okay, and also something related to those kind of outside ambience environment in order to get a better render. So today we mainly talk about this kind of a tool based on the floor plan 5.0. So just make sure you already access into the correct tool version. And also, for the basic tool using, still we have a kind of a big map, okay, for the of course, for the villa included. But today, we are not going to directly talk about the indoor design. It's the main purpose for the outdoor. For example, the garden and some walking paths, even for the scenarios, the landscapes. Yeah, I know some of you already asked about the questions about how can we build up some of the elements. Of course, for most of the time, we really suggest that you just need to prepare some of the models from third party. For example, some trees, some other greens, and also the decorations. If it is really complicated, I really suggest that we can directly upload some of the models and scenarios, even including the villa. Sometimes if you don't want to spend the time to do the drawing, we can also just upload for the villa. But of course, we already have some of the helpful resource in our system, and we already can directly use the model from the platform. Okay, so this are the basic. Okay, these are the basic for the logic. Just now we talked about the uploading. So most of the time, the normal models like the furnitures, just now like the trees, and today even for example the swimming pools. Yeah, you can directly use, okay, for those elements directly to bring to the big case, the design. But also today we are going to talk something related to the constructions. For even sometimes if you want to, for example, to build by yourself, for example, the construction of the villa and the buildings, you want to draw them, you can also draw yourself. Okay, now this is the main topic for today, that villa and the garden included. Indoor, previous or some of the advanced courses we already conduct with the basic using, like the multi-layers and the indoor decoration, floor, ceiling, walls, and constructions like that. But today, the main topic will be lies here. First, we still need to focus on the construction. That construction is not included with the multi-layer house or drawings. Of course, you can use the villa model. Just now we've talked about that. And you can also use, for example, to use the extended balcony or the extended area to draw out some of the elements. And don't forget the railings, okay? And then the first floor, we still can use the external area drawing to control them. Even sometimes today you will see we can draw not only in first level, you can draw in other levels. It's also available. And then construction, the last thing for construction, still we can handle with the walking paths or steps, like the stairs or some of the walking paths that we really need to cover, for example, the different extrusion or the height. Then we can use the floor editor to cover it. So construction is the basic. Okay, and then the landscape. For example, we still need to handle with the entrance of the garden of the entire area. And also don't forget to bring with the fence or the enclosure walls by using the array, right? And then we can use the greens and ground model, okay, to directly put. Of course, if you really like some of the models, you can upload, yeah, in your personal file. And then we can also use finally, we use the drawing, like the floor opening or the custom models to draw some customized swimming pools. So it's not only for the very standard ones, but also for with different shapes, you can also draw them. Okay, so this is the main topic. Okay, these are the main topic that we need to cover for today's course. Yeah, and then for the first thing here, let's talk about the multi-layer house drawing. Okay, so as you can see, we have so many different constructions or the house to need to build. Of course, if you want, in our system, we do have that. For example, we do have in the public library, when you're searching for the, like say, villa or other big house, you can also directly click and put, right? This is easy. But if you really have some of the construction that you need to build up, yeah, it just simply build up the outside area. And the inside, if you really want to just focus on the garden, you don't need to worry about that. You just need to draw. Okay. The key thing, okay, relies on our analyzing. For example, we need to think from the top, okay, from the roof. Okay, thinking about the construction from the in the area to the bottom, where there is a wall. Okay, so first we need to separate them. For example, separate them into different levels, and where there's a wall, we need to draw them out. Yeah. So the easiest thing you see here is the very basic the multi-layer house. Yeah. And then what you need to do is just to draw them out and then duplicate. Yeah. And then maybe the challenge will turn to your balcony. So here I can show you the easiest way. First floor plan. Here, rectangle walls. Assume that we have, for example, different rooms. Yeah, this for the first floor. Of course, if you want, you can put those elements, for example, for the doors, okay, whatever it goes, sliding door or different doors, okay, just to put, okay, also with the, for example, the window as well. So once you've already finished the first level, okay, the main construction, then you can directly new upper here. We can duplicate all this layout to the upper level. Okay, click confirm, and then you can have directly have. Yeah. And then the key thing it comes when you want to get started with the multi-layers here, floor navigation. You can click 3D to show other floors. See, these are duplicate. Of course, if you want, you can just change them to 100%. Yeah, turn the opacity. Yeah, just don't forget where you are. For example, second floor, here also second floor as well, right? And then when you realize on the second, okay, for example, if you really want to have something like the balcony, easy, in second floor, here you have two ways, okay? First, you can directly use the external area. Of course, it's like it's kind of a balcony. It's the outside like terrace. If terrace, you can directly use the external area to draw. For example, here, once you click that, you can have the rectangular or line. You can draw them out. For example, to draw, I just draw a simple ones. Yeah, to combine all the lines, it's auto snap. Okay, just don't forget to seal them up, and then click finish. Still, we can have one, although it's pavings like the normal glass. It's fine. Public library finishes. So just put the basic, or for example, the outdoor tiles or some other like the concrete, some other things. Just click and put. It's simple, right? Click and put. And then you can directly, for example, to use from the public library, let's say here, we can also use, for example, the construction railings here. Yeah, to put this kind of model is just you can directly use and put into proper positions. It's really simple, right? Directly put to cover this one. It's fine. And then if you turn to the first floor, still the same. If you want, directly click here. Don't forget, always check about, okay? Always check about where you are. And then you can directly use here also the external area. Now rectangle, a big one to cover all the garden. Yeah, of course you can use art or some other functions to draw. Click finish. Okay. We can still do like that, right? And of course, don't forget one thing, okay? This is also very helpful for you. If you have any gaps, lies on here, in order to get a better result, you'd better check about the position of the basic doors and windows, internal doors and windows. So making this bottom surface as the zero level. Yeah. And how about those area that would drop underneath? So this time, if you want, you can also click here in 2D. Yeah, click the outside in first floor. Okay, click outside the garden. You can also use the draw panel. This is some ways that we use in the for example, in the outside area. Yeah, for internal area using maybe you just want the like a drop living room or drop sofa or some other areas dropped. But here we directly use outside to make the difference here, see, with the garden and also the zero level. Let's say here we drop like a 300 drop panel, 300, and now you can see. Then you can directly to get the stairs. Yeah, stair is easy. First, here I can directly show you the easiest way. Use the floor editor. Yeah, using the floor editor to combine them, or you can also draw some other area. For example, in here. Yeah, outside garden is still available for the drop. Okay, drop changing. Let's say here it's flat, so still we can draw with the rectangle. See, assuming like extrusion, still 300. If 300 is still flat, and then continually, for example, you can turn to, for example, here, another level, right? This use different extrusion, set different extrusion as the drop, as the stairs. For example, 150. This 0, okay, I just need to delete. Now you can have different levels and form out to be kind of a stairs. See, and then you can just turn back, for example, to the different pavings. I just roughly do that. Okay, and for the side, the elevation side, this one, if you really insist to have, of course, you can click add to favorite and click here. You have the elevation. Turn it back, this one, put it. Yeah, because you already add to favorite, you can just click and put. And also combine them, click the entire area, and check. This one is really easy. Yeah. Once you have one elevation set, duplicate to the entire room and the entire elevation. See, this is also available for the basic. And once you know how to do this one, then you can turn to, for example, some other different constructions. For example, here, if there's any difference using here. Let's say now we finish the first floor, we turn to the second, and now you can control, for example, the different area changings. Yeah, you can directly drag, or even based on the first floor, yeah, to change with some more constructions, different areas, getting bigger. See, directly drag. Okay, so is it okay? You see now? When you turn to 2D, and you can see this. And also don't forget to change the display style, material plus the wireframe. It will be better. Now you can have, yeah. And also don't worry about this showing, because when you turn this kind of a view, it's on the second floor. If you turn to the first floor, here still the floor is there. Don't worry about that. Okay, see, still there. Yeah. Even if it's different, it's fine. Yeah. Let me just turn back with the railing or later. Yeah. It's easy, just railing to put duplicate or the array to put it. Turn to always remember where you are to check. Yeah. Don't get confused by the different the layers. Let me just check with some of the models. You see, actually, some of the model is fully covered, yeah, with different side. But for example, if you want to have really customized element, you'd better check with, for example, single or multi. Yeah, directly to put is better. Let me just choose some of the similar elements. Let's say this one or this one. And by the way, here one of the very helpful hint for you. If you happen to miss some of the railings that really needs the needs putting on the wall, which means actually it's uploaded as kind of a doors and windows logic, which is not suitable, maybe not so suitable for the using. Just pay attention. Yeah. And if you really insist to have the using, you'd better change to another different logic, which what we call the drawing of the balcony. Later I will show you. Yeah, actually for the balcony, we can use different type of the ways to do that. So here, say array linear. Just click. Yeah. Click from the point to the point. Okay, just lies on that. Click. And if you want them to get duplicate using, even sometimes to put in some of the position, okay, confirm. Okay, almost there, and then change one of it. But just before changing, see, if they are joined together, this one, the last one, you need to break them. Otherwise, it will change within the same or the similar size. Just pay attention about this. Which means actually, if you turn to you see here, this is the thing we just called it. Yeah, with the different logic. This is the logic as doors and windows, which means when you put like this, you still need to put it as kind of put on the walls. So it's the kind of a limitation. Just don't forget, okay? Don't forget this. And also the last part maybe here, duplicate, put into the right position, something like this one. Yeah. And the second logic here, if I don't use this kind of a way, I just want a really simple, very simple railings. You can now, okay, let me just delete that. You can now just delete this room. Okay, we don't need that. We need a floor plan using a straight wall as well. For example, draw them. Still, I draw another room. But this time, see, first change all this memory. Okay, holding down Shift button, select them, customize. Here, you can click customize with the walls and then 8. Now you can change. Yeah, for example, 1.2 meter or 1 meter. And now you can have a proper railing, but it's really covered with all the boundaries. But also you can change here, you see, this one, when you turn to balcony, with or without, or of course, terrace as well. If terrace, there's no ceiling at all. See, there's no ceiling. Yeah. Still, we have the basic floors. Yeah, just no ceiling. Okay. So this one, okay, hope you can know something about that. Actually, it's just some of the drawing. Yeah. And some more like this one. Okay, it's just to bring with more columns and beams. You see, the covering beams. We can also have all these elements independently. Here, I can also use this one. In first, second floor, floor plan, column, and beams. It's just some of the combination. For example, drawing beams with the width 240, 8, 6, 500. Okay, beams, drawing, the same, you see. Drawing out is the same. And put a column. And even for the column change, you can make it duplicate. It's fine. It's just some of the constructions. Besides nothing else, right? So it's easy to finish with that. The key thing is to analyze, okay? First, to cut into proper level. And then second, where there's a wall, draw them. And then to get a control. Yeah. Is it okay? Even for this, you see, actually it's exactly the difference. Even for that, you can draw free for the free wall drawing and draw them out. Yeah. And also, of course, you might have some very precise questions relating to, for example, here, the real position of uh, the, the, the French window, right? With the extent area outside. So how can we do that? Actually, just take another thinking. You see, if you can change into a thinking of rooms, you see, actually it's two rooms, right? We just need to or limit this area. Yeah, just make it as the door opening, and it's fine. Okay, so still I can use this one to show you. For example, this kind of area I want to extend. So I can use floor plan still, straight wall. Now turn to 120. Yeah, make it thin with everything, and then turn to a kind of a French window. Yeah, put it here, drag, maximize above ground, and then height above is let's say 2.8. I think is the default setting. And this area totally open, so door opening, drag this one 2.8, right? This one change to some very big windows. Let me think. I think we have for windows floor to ceiling, right? Simplify them, delete them. Okay, so some of the big windows, this, yeah, it's auto select, right? Something like this one. Yeah. Change it a bit. No need to extend it that much, like 360. Yeah. Click and put and check. Still the same construction, right? For the top, you can continually to draw or to set. Of course, you can void some. For example, directly click, void a height, 2.7 meter. Still, you can have it. Here the same. If you void, continue. Still, we can use the beams. Yeah, beams is really helpful. Beams are really helpful for that. Yeah. You can click and change. Let's directly change to 300. Yeah, the same drawing, and also click that. This one will be just 100, and it's covered. If you can't see, you can turn back to the internal zoom area, and then you can have it. This one 2.7. Don't forget to void. Yeah. Still the same. But we can also do with some of the changings. Okay, these are the same. Just turn to different levels. Okay, And even for some with more complicated like this one, still the same logic, different levels. At least they share the same level, and then you can draw. And with some other area that may have the slab dropping, you can still to drop that level and then set with the different stairs. Okay, and roofs. Later we will talk about that roofs. Yeah, it's easy. Also not that hard to draw, but still we can have the basic level. First is to analyze, and then the second duplicate from the bottom to the upper area. Okay. If you have questions, you can just leave in our chatting box. Okay. So for this logic, I think the multi-layers is not that hard. Okay. First part, multi-layer. You just need to break them into different levels and break them into groups. Okay. And also, just now we've talked about the extended balcony. Yeah, we can use either the external area drawing on the upper level, or you can definitely draw a room and then put the, for example, put the elements, set the customized height of the wall, the outside wall as the railings. And also, don't forget, actually, some of the, for example, this kind of drawing, kind of roofs, okay, the roofs is not so particularly within the shape of the floors, and it's really kind of a decoration, right? It's kind of a decoration. So how can we do that if we happen to make these kind of extend roofs? It's not the balcony, right? This one will be the balcony. You can draw. Yeah, it's fine. But how about this? And also, even for example, let me give you precise showing. You see, we also have some decoration boundaries, right? So how can we do this kind of decors? So here, let me show you. For example, with this flat ceiling, okay, with this kind of flat ceiling drawing, I still can continue draw on the top of it. For example, to directly to go extend to entire area. So this one ceiling, I can just remain it. So turn to on the second floor. Now we can use a basic material component, this one, to help this one. Material and component will be helpful. See, in this, you can only see with the current level. Yeah, you can draw on the current level. For example, for the entire area, I want to make it extend within here and to here. So still rectangular drawing first to fully cover, okay, to full cover the upper area. For example, one shape, two shapes, and also this one. You can have the endpoint if you don't know where is it. Put it here. Endpoint, endpoint. This one, of course, endpoint, endpoint. And then you can, of course, to delete some of the join lines. These are the boundary that shares between the shapes. Okay, and then what you need to do here, use the offset. It's definitely extend. You need an extend. If you can't put it outside, which means actually it's joined inside. Yeah, the boundary is joined inside. So if you can't put them outside, you need to have the first have the internal boundary. Click like this one. Okay, delete the outside, and then when you put your mouse here, when you put your mouse to the outside boundary, then you can have the distance, okay, outer, not inner. See, so why from the very beginning I didn't draw like this one, but I use this one to fully cover. It's because the endpoint is easier to get analyzed by this, okay, by the outside rather than inside. Internally, it's really hard, but outside is easy to analyze. Then you can delete. And then you can have the distance. For example, now 800 extension. See, now we have a proper position here, and whatever you want, delete or not, it's fine. Click, delete, right? And once you already have that, push and pull. For example, 250. This would be the thickness or the height. Yeah. Or of course, before you pushing that, assume that we can draw some of the leakage or this some of the even like this one with the holes onto it. See, it's also available. It's kind of a decoration. Sorry, I need to put it in there. It's okay. Let me see. Yeah, it's fine. So click, duplicate. Yeah, borrow with some more, duplicate, okay, and then delete. Because these areas are fully covered, yeah, it's just like the whole diggings. You can directly click and then delete. Of course, if you want, you can also to push and pull. See, now it's already finished with the decker. And also, if you want here, okay, use the rectangle. But before that, you can draw the skirt. You see, these are the decoration, the precise skirt. But it's not that hard. Click guideline. Okay, borrow any proper reference line from the existing boundary in different dimension, and then rectangle. Now you can draw one. That's not the end. You can continue, for example, to break them. Let's say break this one, even different. Now delete the useless part. We have the section surface drawing now. And then click the entire area. Okay, my suggestion, because here we have the inner boundary, you'd better manually to select all the boundaries. They click. And first one, if you, let me show you this function. It means this function here, locked. Okay, make this cover. Yeah, if you click entire area, it means selected all. Click loft, goes like this. Yeah, if you really insist to have just partly of the boundary as the path of the decker, manually click on the shift to select. Select the boundary and then loft. See, if you want to break, for example, I just want them to get partly stopped here, let's say, then you need to draw any shape with the part, then you can break them into the different phrase, then select. After finish using, delete. Okay, see, actually now it breaks. So just pay attention about what you've done before using. Now this one is easy. Just click the entire boundary, outside boundary is selected, and then we can use the loft. Use this shape, click. Now we have a proper decoration. Yeah. For the material, it's also not hard. You can click 3D, holding down Shift button, double selections, you see, holding down Shift button, double click on your left mouse button. Now you can select. This means select the entire roofs, the decker skirt of the roof, and then you can also give the proper materials as well. So I just roughly give the material. Just click. Just click. Oh, sorry, I didn't select it. And then you can also click connect faces. Yeah. Now you see. I do it again. Okay, holding down shift button, double click, and then all selected using this connect faces. And then you can put those elements, click and put. It's joined together. Okay, the internal is fine. Just you can use the brush, paving brush, right? Or for example, the area as well. Click, group, still, click and put. So it's fully covered. Okay, so these are the operation. Uh, and also this, if you have some different shapes, continually drawing, but by just the lines or the basic, okay? First, draw in 2D with the shape and then set the extrusion. And for the lights, you can directly use the luminous material. And some of the decoration will be seen like this. You see, actually, we have some joined outer shapes. Yeah, that covers actually not only one of the level but multi layers. Then still, you'd better use, for example, the column drawing, and even some of the, for example, the balcony is really with the certain angles. It's not the rectangular on the surface. Maybe with other angles, you can either use the wall drawing and then duplicate to the upper, okay, and then to form them. So this kind of shape I can show you with, now I need to click back with some other, for example, get start. Okay, renew one. Still, the logic is, for example, here in the area, in the rooms, right? In the room, exactly the same level. So I still need to draw one, but still you have the outside area as the balcony. So still you need to draw the basic. Okay, first in the area, and then outside room, maybe like this one. Even for example here, if you want to break the one, because I need to change the position of the outside of the wall, let's say here. Okay, and now this is the balcony. This one, internal room, custom, inner room. Okay, and also, for example, here, now remember we have a kind of a choices, what we call the door open. Okay, so you can just turn to the door opening. You can even put like this one, you see, to full cover. If full cover, the system will automatically give a crop at the part. Click, maximize the height. Okay, this area as well. Duplicate one, not too big. Still, door opening. Right, and then you can duplicate new upper. Okay, show all floors. So you can see. Yeah. Of course, if you really want to crop some of the area. For example, this area, you don't want them to extend with the same depth. Then you can turn to, for example, now I am in the upper level. I can also use the floor plan. Remember, floor opening, this one. You can continue to crop, boundary. Yeah, remember this is only for the upper level, okay? Finish. And here, if, see, if still there's the boundary, now we crop. But here still, if there's the boundary, you can also click the open. This is the door opening. And now I will give you a very special changing on the distance from ground. If you remember, here the slab thickness is 120, right? If you want to make it, for example, to occupy underneath the zero level, make it minus 120 or 21 even bigger, then you can have some of the related result like this one. Okay, it's already cut it. So just pay attention. Of course, you can change with higher, and then this area no longer exists. This one is just showing you. This is just the showing of your outer boundary. So no worry, still it's cut it. In render, it will no longer exist. Yeah, it's very special, kind of a way to control. And then you can get started with the railing, putting here, putting there. Then it's also available. Okay, so these are some very specific issues for the controlling. Okay, is it okay? Some of the changings. Hello, hello, hello. Is it okay for the signal? I'm not sure because I can't see some of your uh, chattings. Yeah, is it okay? So continually here. Okay, now we turn to the next is the walking path. So most of the time, I really don't suggest that if you want to directly use the outside design for the garden, let's say this one. Yeah. For example, those garden, you see, uh, the default setting is kind of a paving. Yeah, it's not so, has how to say, it's not so proper actually for the for the elements. So actually, my best suggestion of the using, still we need to use the model for the grass. Grass, okay, and of course you can those. Yeah, these models can cover. Yeah, really, it's no longer a kind of paving. Yeah, these are the pavings. Just pay attention. We need to use models in order to get a better effect. Okay, and also, if you want, click to put. Oh, sorry. Now it's the second. I turn to first floor. Yeah, click and put. Can you hear? Hello, hello, hello. Hope you can hear. Okay. Click, put. Now, this one, this turn to slab. It's correct. Yeah, sometimes maybe your system may not directly recognize out the distance, may still, for example, 300 above the slab. So you need to change distance to slab. Okay, linear array. Yeah, first to let them fully cover. If you want later to put some of the paths here, you can you'd better change the height. For example, the height, make it lower, and then, of course I can change the scale off. Now turn to 150 or even lower. Yeah. Later we use the higher stone to cover. 120 I think is fine. Now array, linear, position, and this time we really don't suggest you directly use all the boundary. You see, if you use all the boundary like this one, okay, you will have the certainly have the gaps. So my suggestion of using to duplicate a little bit, it's better. See, once you duplicate a little bit and it's fluent cover this difference, and then let's say 8. How about 8? Let me check. Still I can have more, like 10, 9. It's fine. Leave a gap for your fence or your enclosure walls. It's fine. Click confirm, and then don't forget to group them, holding down shift button to select, and then you can click to array, linear, yeah, and also here to also duplicate a bit, give more, confirm. And also that's the reason, you see, why we didn't get start from the true slab height from the beginning is because actually when you can proper, okay, do it proper with the extrusion on the slab, you can also cover the height a little bit. See, cover the height. And for the rest of the part you see here, if you want, you can also, for example, just searching for the path or steps, I think. Yeah, this is the path. So just need to click and then put, okay? And then you can also change, okay? To, for example, to set as the distance to slab, 0, height, remember? Just now 120. Make it higher. Yeah, you can now you can have a proper changing for the position. Yeah, want more, just select those elements to put. Yeah, it's up to your choice, but just pay attention about the height. See, now you can make it proper. Or if you want something like this one, stone path, we can manually to create them. Okay, create those elements. Just pay attention about that position and distance to the slab. Okay, continually just duplicate. For example, this one is how we do it. Yeah, the key thing is the creating the gaps, the height gaps between grass and also your walking path. Also, you can change the different size, smaller, bigger, smaller to make it changeable, 50 or 80. Also, holding down shift button, multi-select, say array again. Okay, so I think the first one before group. Yeah, this always remember to check the first one when before you want to use the array. Always check the first one if it is correct, and then you can just use the linear array from right. So now you can use different models, and even if you want to have quite different elements combining together, you can also use the flow editor. Remember this one? We use the flow editor to draw. Yeah, because it's also available for some of the engine. Yeah, if you really want to randomly to draw some of the working paths, you can use the flow editor to draw. Or if even that's not enough, you can also use the advanced tool, custom modeling, to create those stone working path, right? The steps is still available. Okay, so is it suitable for the using? And even for the tree pools, still the same logic. You can either use the model to cover. You see, when you search for the pool, okay, we also we not only talk about the swimming pool, but also we have the tree pools. See, these are also available. Just use or you want, draw, flow editor, the same. Just cover it. Cover the entire empty or the basic pavings. Cover that. And then you can have a suitable result. See, roughly draw one. Offset 230. Extension 450. This one 100. Oh, no, no, not enough. 200. Same, right? Then you need to have some dirt. Dust. A different paving or mud. I think we have some of the deckers. Carpet flooring tiles, wood decker. This is floor. So if not there, I can also use the here. All right, let's turn back to here. Yeah, currently I just want some of the elements. Now I can turn to, for example, personal library, texture. Okay, yeah, everyone have the personal library, upload textures, and then you can have the real-time render. This one, real-time material in here. Outdoors, which you want, grassland. Okay, cobblestone or the snow. You can also use these elements directly to create those elements you want. And even later, we can create the material for the swimming pool or the surface of the swimming pool, the water surface. Okay, so this will be helpful for you. You can just click loading and material. Okay, and even here you see we can change the bump. Change bump. and save. And don't forget here, furnishing. Yeah, furnishing means for car for using can be used for the entire tool furnishing. Okay, and then you can turn back in your uploading. Yeah, not that fast. Later you can see your uploads material here and then to use. Or you can also turn back to check. Turn it back, my account, upload. Yeah. Later for the using. Same logic for covering all the memories. And then if you want, you can also use the public here, trees, to put. Also, of course, some of the elements that already with, okay, with the, for example, the tree pools. So you can directly use your editor. Now I turn back, directly use the model, delete. See, we already have those elements that with the decoration. So directly use will be helpful. And also talk about those trees. I have one kind of a suggestion. So for example, if you want to use some of the trees, like this one, I think we'd better to cover some with some of the like the stones, okay, like the rocks surround this one. Yeah, because some of the model is not so proper with the rules. The rules is not so suitable. Yeah. So what you need is just to click and put, and of course check about the where am I? First floor, yes, and then freeze 0. Okay, always remember to check about that, and then you can have the proper result. Okay, this is the walking path and then steps. Just now we talked about if you already have some of different steps, remember, first get the proper 0 level and then drop the slab thickness. Okay, and of course for those walking paths with light strips, and that's some more decorations you see. Yeah, when you do the drawing here, my suggestion, you'd better to check about the boundary. The key thing is check about the boundary to get a full cover. Otherwise, it will be kind of a leakage. Yeah. So here, still I can use turn back this one. Let me just show you with the different slab thickness. Delete this one. Okay. Just turn to the first floor. Still rectangle. Still external area. Okay, drop. Let's say we can drop like 8, 8, 100, 900. Okay, give a door. And then here, floor editor. First level, 900. extrusion removed, 900, going up. Second, set to 320, 900 here, so this one will be minus 150, it's 750. Yeah, you can then continually array linear array, rectangular also fine. 1 for x, 5, 700, this one 600, each time minus 150, 150, 300, 150. Right? You can see here we already have that, and that's not the end. Let me still continue to play with the material. Okay, now it's better. If you want to add, for example, the light strip, okay, adding a light strip, then you can click to break, split into two parts. This one, 10. This one, okay, click here, 10. And in the middle here, click. Now get the intent lamp belt for the light. Yeah. And now you can have a kind of with the light strip within inside that, and the same part to duplicate. Okay, or if you want to save time, for example here, once you finish one, let me just delete all this boundary 6, click this area, rectangle, still the same. To check all the status and then to set with the proper extrusion, and then you can have a proper light. Key thing is when you do like this one, it's here the boundary is covered. You don't need to worry about the light leakage. And also, if you really insist that you want to have an open boundaries, for example, oops, sorry, this one delete. If you want to have the open boundary, also for example, float there, see this, yeah, it's not fully covered, and you can also use, for example, the advanced tool. Yeah, custom modeling will be helpful because you can directly use the array, still the same, the linear array. See, rectangular. Oh, I think it's covered. Yeah, extrusion 0. That's the reason. Okay, custom modeling. Now, manually to draw 150. Okay, group them. Material, stone. Okay, just roughly to put them. And then you can use this one, linear array. See, cover, It's not only on side of it. Let me just changing the size, changing the thickness. See, now it's flowing the air. Then linear array. This one is auto snapped one to another. Then if you turn, for example, to the Z axis, 100, see, now flowing. Okay, switch by table, tap the table, the tab. Now finish. It's flowing. Okay. I want to delete one. Do double click until you can select one of it. Delete. Till you can put into the proper position. Right. Still the same. So it's up to your choice which kind of element that you want. They are just with different elevation, the different extrusions. And if you want really have some of the decor like the flowing, so you can also use the custom modeling. So these are different, but after all, it's just covering with the gap between the lowest position. This is the drop level and your zero level. Just combine them together. Okay, these are the same, just with different drawings. Okay, and then actually for the entrance or the fence, I don't want to talk too much about this one because mainly it's rely on the boundary models. So you can just directly use them most of the models, or you see some of the walls is helpful. Yeah, if you want to have some of the decor like this one, it's extremely easy. Just turn back, for example, to the setting. This time, no longer use the outside boundary. Yeah, I really suggest we directly use the rectangular wall. Is fine. No need to use that. Directly use the rectangular wall to draw, to cover, right? And don't forget, these are the terrace without no ceilings, without ceilings. And then directly use, for example, opening, this window opening, drag, thin, distance from ground 1.5 meter, height is just about 300, something like this. Right. And not that hard, it's just kind of a decoration. Just pay attention about the height. Yeah, the default setting. Great default setting. Just auto snap to the top of the level. Yeah, you can also customize either, for example, 200 or 2000, or even more, like like the higher. But most of the time, you see, this one is still limited with the room bounding, with the room height. So if you really want a higher, my suggestion, manually draw material component. Yeah. So this is the limitation. Just pay attention. Okay, let's pay attention about that. And if you want to have, for example, I change another case for this. If you want to have the proper boundaries, we can turn to turn to the public library. So you can searching for the wall enclosure. Yeah, wall itself, it does contain some of the models directly put and duplicate. Or you can select, for example, the enclosure. See, this also available. Or fence as well. just pay attention. Actually, why we talked about the fence, it's some of the covered, yeah, between your garden design and outside. Yeah, you'd better use some of the cover to just block those irregular element. For example, suddenly you can see the boundary between your outside ambience, outside environment to your garden, which is too not so vivid looking. Then you can use the fence and also with the plants, the trees or the greens to cover. Yeah, it's a kind of solution. Of course, if you have these kind of decors, some of the walls, it's also better, much better. Yeah, for example, if you have this kind of cover, you don't have to worry about the outside area and the inside area because we already have the base construction. So let me just choose one. For example, the wall. I just roughly just select some of the outside decor walls. Closure. um, Outdoors. Yeah, also if you want, you can use the models as well. Just make it fully covered and water curves. Okay, using this one. Once you put the first, just check about the position. Still the same array, but not to the endpoint. You need to make a duplicate with the proper end of the head. Okay, close. If it is over boundary, maybe the better way, duplicate one. Yeah, to full cover. And then drag, duplicate, same. For entrance, you can also make, of course, if you go render, sometimes you don't need it, but if you want, still you can use some of the villa decors, the villa entrance decor. Yeah. You see, still you can use those models just to put. But here, just pay attention about those entrance and the walls. Most of the time, we suggest with the columns. Yeah, it's better. Okay, this time, let me continue. Duplicate one group. Better to get a group and change the dimension. Break them. If anything not enough, just drag the last one. try to cover it. Then in the view, it will be better. See, within the view. Ah, I know. Here, the height. So click, you can have the select all the same product and change the distance from ball. You can have the overall or the batch changing 0. All of them turn to the 0. Yeah. Then group minus 300. Yeah. Now when you go render, you don't have to worry about that, right? Minus 300. You don't have to worry about the outside boundaries. So this is helpful. Okay. And then finally talking about the last part, like the swimming pool. For swimming pool, actually, you need to have some preparation on the floor by using the floor opening. And then you can use custom modeling or normal model. In this case, I just show you a small swimming pool here. First floor, check. And also ungroup them because I now need to delete some of the areas. Oh, not this one. Okay, so assuming that we have a kind of wall here, first use floor plan. In the first floor, floor opening. Yeah. Why we need floor opening? If you don't, even if you use the whole side of the model, you see the easiest way, for example, to have that kind of a pool, even like this one, rack. Yeah, if you can't use, you can't move properly, holding down the control button, it will be helpful. Even if you put like this, okay, holding down the control button, see, it can't show properly, right? But if you can do like this, for example, floor plan, floor opening, just draw, okay, draw according to the boundary. Yeah, no need to full cover all the model. You can just draw within the model boundaries. Click finish. See, at least it's better, right? But what if I want to manually to draw one? Still the same. Okay, still the same. First, definitely here one of the hole. That's the minimum requirement. And then advanced tool, custom modeling. Okay, so we have the position. We can use the rectangular. Okay, to draw. Hidden object or furniture. Okay, now endpoint, endpoint. See, now you can use push and pull. Go down one, let's say 1.6. Yeah, but actually for the swimming pool, not always be exactly the same depth. So you can click the line, drag to push. See, with the different position, with a different height, or even do like this. Click X, Y to here. Yeah, we have different height, and even for this one, this is the top surface. Duplicate, point to point. Now delete this one. This one, just ignore that. You can directly have it. For the outer, or I don't need to delete that fast. For example, I can continue draw the boundary, rectangular. Oh, sorry. Click. We have the offset. Click and then go up a bit, and then 宣布 cover some of the positions and then delete. Now mosaic. Click to put, or easier, double click, make connect faces, click and put. It's fully covered. Inner here, flat. Okay, this one, ignore that. And finally, we need a surface to get covered with, for example, the water, right? If you don't have directly, still remember use the uh, pool water. This one still the real time. Remember here, we can have the outdoor for the sea water. Still the same. Even here, you can see to get a render result. Mainly focus on the bump. Yeah. If you want a really flat, no wind scenario, one, almost no wind. Yeah, don't get zero. Okay, zero is too ridiculous. Yeah, just use around the one, no wind. If one they have a kind of rolling, 30, default settings 30 is proper. Yeah, 25, smooth, and then safe. Still the same. Don't forget furnishing material. Yeah, just give roughly a name. And then you can use, see here, you can use in custom modeling. When you click mine, you can have this click, just one click, and it's done. Actually, we already have that. And also, that's not the end. And this is randomly, you can randomly drawing with different shapes or even with different the equipment or the settings. You see, we also can draw stairs. It's easy, so I won't show you because the same logic, draw with a different height. Okay. And also, for example, ah, wait a minute. I need to just limit them a little bit with the position. You can just roughly to change this one because we have the grass. Literally go under that. Suitable. Click finish. And also another kind of using For the decor, you can see in public when you search for water or the swimming pool, swimming, you see we have this kind of element. It's the dynamic model. You can have the surface floating, and also this is only available to be seen in the animation roaming videos. In videos, you can see something like this. Yeah, you can also use them to cover swimming pool water. Click to put the same, just drag or duplicate. My suggestion, drag and don't get too much different. For example, the dimension is only that small, so don't make it so with that very big one. And also these are some of other surface. Okay, and also with the you see here, if you put, you can also have the finished combination with the finishings, the components. Yeah, these are all available. Just holding down Control button to put into the proper position. Yeah, here I just give you one of the options to cover some of the scenarios like irregular shape or some customized. Okay, the customized scenarios you can directly use. Right? So equipment, just put. Okay, I won't show you more, no more than just some of the deckers can use. Okay, and finally, I think we can turn to, for example, the render. Of course, before that, remember always to give material to your outer construction. Yeah, the outer construction it always requires the material, whatever is the coatings or something. Yeah, always remember because if not prepared for these elements, it will be not so good for the render because the color or some other decorations it will definitely get the overexposure. Yeah. And it's up to your choice to select those elements. Which element you want, you can click and put. Yeah. At least you need to have that cover. Always remember, otherwise, overexposure can frequently be seen in your decoration. Okay, so allow me to change to second floor, the same. Which one I use? Yeah, this one. Yeah, get a full cover. Sorry, it should be this one. Within that, within that. Okay. Indoor, you can continue to design. Yeah, of course, for the basic. Okay, and then we can turn to the render. Back, roaming. For the render part, um, still, wait a minute, turn to first floor. It's better. And then select your proper angle. And now, my suggestion, directly use the real-time render. And this time, indoor daytime, you can also use that. You can also, of course, you use, because before that I found you really prefer to use the realistic outdoor daytime. Uh, but this is from the format. And as you can see, once you click, you have the different suggestion for selection for the different levels. But it's fine for using the same. And once you click the render, you can take a quick preview about the effect. My suggestion, you can directly use the real time at the indoor daytime, because now your render angle is outside, so no need to worry about that. We can also get a quick result by limit the effect. Wait a minute. Turn into 2D. See, simply first thinking, invite the sunlight. Okay, I just ignore here. First, invite the sunlight, and also check the parameter, color, temperature. Most of the time, if you want to invite the sunlight with the angle 400 or 4500, make it warm feeling. And shadow softness, it depends. For example, if you want to have like the cloudy days, you can maximize, maximize the softness. See, it's really soft, like the cloudy day, but still with the sun. And if you want, you can also change lower. It's with the very thin, see, sunlight thin through the clouds. It's fine. Now change shadow softness. It's really, really suitable. Okay, if you want strong brightness, under 20, it's soft. So the key thing, invite the sunlight from the part of the angle, and brightness, shadow softness is the key. Okay, so just let me change. For example, here you need to combine with the environment. Yeah, this one will be helpful. Besides that, actually, you don't need some other any angles to change. And then going up, we have the outdoor brightness. This one, limited, it's better. Under 2, yeah, under 2. And also environment, you can check this one, which you preferred. See, of course, the first level, turn to the first level, changing the suitable scenario, right? And also, for example, if you really like the sunny day, you can also change the sun color temperature to brighter. If it is through the, for example, through the forest, through the trees, make it warmer. Different combination will have certain different results. Okay, and then just now when we talked about the environment here, outdoor brightness, the outside environment, don't get too bright. Ambient brightness, something related to the interior, the dark shadow. If you make it higher, overexposure. Most of the time, for the uh, like a really sunset or the very the sun, when the sunlight is really weak, 1.0. Normally, use 2.0 is enough. Above, overexposure, ambient brightness. Remember, yeah. So just pay attention. I prefer 1 to 2, like 1.5. See, at least you have shadows. right? So this is the ambient brightness. After that, actually, you don't need to change any other thing. It's already a proper scenario. For render outside, yeah, for rendering outside, it's easy, but you need to control those elements. Yeah, you need to control this. Okay, so make it 2, and then sunlight, no need as soft. Make it strong. You can have the shadow through the trees, and then you can get a render. And now let's take a look at the render or 360, but most of the time, because I didn't finish the front of the garden or the villa, make it like a 2K. Same. Turn it here. You see, actually, in this direction is not so correct. So you can rotate the angle. Another one, the environment. Yeah, this one. Change to the proper dimension. Okay, just avoid some really irregular shapes and get a render. This is the preset. See, I didn't change anything. And overexposure. And some other parts, I believe this one will be better. Okay, so any other questions? So far, we already have that much. Yeah. And I believe from your side, you can try all this, okay, the combinations and settings to form our better view. Okay. And I think that's all for today. Hope you can try yours to create your beautiful garden and also the outside exterior design. Okay, so that's all for today. If no other questions, I think we can end up here. Okay, so see you next round.